For there is hope for a tree if it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its tender shoots will not cease, though its roots may grow old in the earth, and its stump may die in the ground. Yet, at the scent of water it will bud, and bring forth branches like a plant. Job 14 verse 7 to 9. Hi everyone. Welcome to Fostering Resilience Podcast. My name is Bosala, and I want to say a very big welcome to everyone for being here today. I have a story to tell you all. So every year in my church we pick a word for the year, and my word for the year of 2023 is shine. And this podcast has been a long time coming. It has been an intense journey. There's been a lot of self-doubt. There's been a lot of uncertainty. There's been a lot of I'm not enough. I don't know what to say. Who's going to listen to me? I don't have anything to offer. And when I picked the word for this year, I started working on the podcast. I designed the logo, and then I stayed put. I didn't do anything else. I recorded. I did about 2 recordings, but I didn't like them. So I just left them alone. So my home church back at home in Nigeria, they had a women's conference this month. And guess what the theme was? Yeah, the theme was light be. And, they were talking about shining as lights and being who God has called us to be and doing what God has told us to do. And I never stopped thinking about the podcast every day when I woke up, when I'm in school, when I'm at work. I just keep thinking, you got to do this, Bosala, you got to do this. But then I looked for a lot of lame excuses. I'm laughing because last week in church we talked about lame excuses, and it's like these past few weeks I've been feeling attacked because we first of all talked about Gideon, and for those of you that don't know the story of Gideon in the Bible, he was a warrior and God sent him to go fight against the people of Moab, I believe, or the Midianites. I think it was the Moabites. Fact check me, I'm not sure. But he felt like he couldn't do it. He talked about all the things that he couldn't do. It said he was the least. I always say he called himself the least of the least of the least. And I felt like I didn't have what it takes to come on here and share my story and talk about my journey through grief. And so those were my lame excuses. But I am doing this afraid, I must tell you. I am doing this with some form of nerves and anxiety and, everything. But I'm still doing it anyway because I believe that there's something that I can share with someone. There's something that my story can do for someone else. So what is Fostering Resilience Podcast? What does that even entail? I picked up the dictionary definition of resilience. So I'm going to read that to you here. It says resilience is an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. And to foster means to nurture, to provide care for something, to promote growth. That's the word I was looking for. To promote growth and development, to encourage growth of something. So what we are going to be doing here on this podcast, in this community, is we are going to encourage growth. We're going to encourage that innate ability in us to bounce back from every form of loss that we have experienced. I am going to be talking about my journey through grief. I am going to be talking about who I lost, what happened, my life-shattering moment. That's what I call it. And I'm not discounting, this podcast is not like, everything is happy-go-lucky after you, lose someone or after you experience loss of any form. And the reason why I'm saying loss of any form is because I know that there will be a lot of people that will come on here and probably have not experienced the kind of loss that I have. But I hope that whatever it is I say, you are able to relate to that and you're able to, modify that to whatsoever situation that you have experienced or you're going through. So as I was saying, I'm not saying that, everything is all rosy. I have down days. Oh my goodness. I have days where I scream, I kick, I shout. But I have decided that I'm not going to let my loss or my grief define me. It was an event, a very tragic event nonetheless. But I'm learning to take it one step at a time in this newfound reality of mine, in this newfound journey of mine. And one of the reasons why I used this verse, because when I was thinking and praying about what to, talk about, the verse of this Job 14 verse 7 to 9 really came to my mind. And to me, that encapsulates resilience, that encapsulates bouncing back. Because it said, is there hope for a tree when it is cut down? Now, for those of us that did some form of agriculture, either in high school or secondary school, university, we know that when you cut a tree in the middle and has a stump, so far that stump is still connected to the ground. Now, there are two ways. You can either uproot the whole tree, remove the roots, and then that tree is dead. It's no longer a tree. It's now a wood, because then it can be processed and be used to make chairs. It can be used to make tables. But if it's just cut in the middle where we have a stump, and that stump is still connected to the roots, it says at the scent of water. So when rain falls, there is a high tendency that that tree will still grow again, that there will still be budding, that there will still be life that would come forth out of that stump or tree, because it is still connected. And I want to let us know that our connection is the air in our lungs. It's the fact that God wakes us up every morning. When we open our eyes, we're still on this side of eternity. We're still on this side. We're not, somewhere else. We're still around the people that we know or people that we don't know. We're still on earth, is my point. And so far we're still on earth, we still have a high tendency, a very, very high tendency to shine again, because we will. We will still shine again. We can still shine through loss. We can still move forward in spite of whatsoever kind of loss we have experienced. So, before I ramble on and on, this is supposed to be an introductory video, so I'm supposed to tell you a little bit about myself, but I just kind of had to say that and talk about what exactly this podcast is about, so you know what to expect. And then when you're coming on for the next episode or future episodes, you have an understanding of what Fostering Resilience Podcast with Bosala is about. My name is Omo Bosinola Shilon. Typically, people call me Bosala, Bosola, Bosala. If you want to call me Omo Bosinola, I would gladly accept that. But I usually go by Bosala, and right now I live in the United States with my husband. I am a student, and I also work in healthcare. And that's pretty much all about me that there is to know for now. I will definitely tell you more about me as we go on and as we talk about, my story through grief and talk about my life's journey up until this time. And I am so excited and I am so grateful for everyone, for your support, for coming on, for embarking on this journey with me. In the next episode, I am going to be talking about my story of grief, like the story of my grief. I'm going to be talking about who I lost. I'm going to be talking about what happened. I'm going to be talking about the events that led to that, because I must tell you, I always say that my life is like a movie. So probably grab your popcorns. Maybe you should grab some tissues too, because I don't know. There might be some rivers flowing. But I'm just going to talk about who I lost. I'm going to talk about my story. And I really hope that I'm able to encourage. That's the main thing. And that's the core of this podcast. To encourage, to nurture, to be able to help everyone out there that has experienced loss or is experiencing loss or any form of grief and feels hopeless. Anyone that feels hopeless, because there can still be hope. You have hope. You can do it. You have all that it takes, because the innate ability that God has given unto us helps us shine, helps us become who God has called us to be. So, without further ado, I want to say thank you, and I want to say welcome to Fostering Resilience podcast. Thank you so much. I am so excited for what we're going to be doing on here. And I will see you in the next episode. My name is Bosala, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.